I'm Morgan OTA meteorologist Greg Dutra is here now. Greg, of course, we're waking up with wind chills in the negative double digits this morning. It's really hard to get out of bed. It's day 2 of President Obama's tour, selling some of the ideas he pitched in this week's State of the Union address. Residents are starting to make their way back into their homes and neighborhoods. You can see some of them right behind me digging through the rubble. Some of the homes in this neighborhood are still standing, but I have to tell you, many of them are not. A Quad Cities business is growing and growing the area economy at the same time. And we've had people driving up the driveway all day long, donating tons and tons of toys. I mean, we filled a military-grade truck. People were dancing in the streets of Seattle overnight. You now have access to hundreds of federal benefits that you did not have access to before. A lot of them extremely shaken up, of course, after the accident, after crashing into the home.
Celebrate the fact that we're at 2 degrees right now.
Throw up. Wet weather and flash flooding putting a damper on Memorial Day plans. And all 4 people that were inside this clubhouse made it out alive, although one person was injured. We want to know where you stand on the issue. Let us know on our Facebook page. Would you discourage your kids from playing football because of concussions? New tonight at 6, we have been able to get much closer to the crime scene. Every inmate receives one of these forms and signs it like a contract. You can see behind me, fire crews definitely very busy at this moment. I'm ready for spring, Greg. How many days?
56. Remember, we did this yesterday,
I know,
Morgan.
but
It's not
every
like
day
we skipped a week over
need
the
like
24-hour period.
We just want to be able to fast forward.
We need a countdown or something. I mean, I just need it to be here.
You know, we always planned on building a house anyway, so I guess it's time to do that. You know, unfortunately, we have to do it this way, but...
Wayne Viager and his 2 boys made it out in time. But the moment his home burned to the ground 3 months ago, his world was turned upside down.
Tough. I mean, you lost your best friend and your wife, a daughter, and you know, all them kids were like daughters to me.
A sleepover turned tragedy.
I know what it's like to go through this, but I still don't have the words for it myself.
But now Wayne is picking up the pieces, trying to rebuild the home that once stood here.
Putting footings in, putting the basement in. We got a floor on it the other night. Just taking things a little bit at a time.
Taking it one step at a time, one day at a time. That seems to be the common approach among families who lost a loved one here 3 months ago.
That heartache and that pain is going to be there forever. It won't go away.
Tim and Melissa Harker lost both of their girls in the fire. The last few months have been the loneliest in their lives.
We seem to be those people that people stare at and they don't know what to say to you and they avoid you. I got her and she's got me, and that's about it.
Even though not everyone always knows what to say, these grieving parents realize they do have a support system within their community.
The community and just people all over have just been more than generous to help us out in a time of need.
People that will help with money, with comfort, even construction.
How'd you tell everybody thanks? You know, it's just been so much.
There's no timeline for Wayne when it comes to finishing construction on his home.
The sooner the better, of course.
Just like there's no way to predict when families will feel a sense of closure. But just like this house.
One day at a time. Just one step at a time, just a little here and there, and just keep busy at it. I mean,
it will happen slowly.
Tomorrow, I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Morgan OTA, KWQC, TV6 News. The car that was involved in this crash has been towed away about an hour ago, but you can see tow crews are here right now pulling the city bus out of the house. They're taking it away so they can better investigate the scene. Take a look while you can at the front of this bus right now. Amazingly, the front windshield, while it's pretty badly cracked, it really isn't broken. The bus driver, who obviously sits up close to that wheel, up close to that windshield, very shaken up from what we're understanding from police and neighbors. We also know that 3 people were inside the house at the time that the bus crashed into it. All of those people are okay. There were 3 people taken to the hospital with minor injuries, expected to be okay. Of course, we will bring you a lot more information on this at 6 p.m., but we have been talking to neighbors, people that saw this happen, heard this happen, ran outside to check things out.
out. They said there was roughly a dozen people on the bus that you see right behind me when it crashed into the house. They helped each one of those people walk off the bus, a lot of them extremely shaken up, of course, after the accident, after crashing into the home. But again, we're told there were no bad injuries or anything like that. They are towing the bus away. We've got crash investigators on scene taking photos, just trying to find out exactly what happened here about 4 p.m. this afternoon. We're live in Davenport. Morgan OTA, KWQC TV 6 News.
Tonight, the Moline School District will talk to the community about finding a new use for Erickson Elementary School. KWQC's Danielle McCarthy joins us live from the school now. Danielle, one idea is to turn it into a community center. The Moline School District says it doesn't know yet when a final decision will be made. Federal prosecutors are calling it a long-standing bribery scheme. It involves a former Bettendorf City employee and executives at a local traffic product company. Several officials with Brown Traffic in Davenport are accused of bribing former Bettendorf City electrician Robert Webster. They allegedly gave gifts like cash, vacations, and event tickets in exchange for services with the city. Webster was in charge of purchases for traffic control for the city. He has since retired. Webster and retired Brown Traffic official Robert Budd Jr. are indicted on charges of conspiracy and bribery. Court documents show Brown Traffic received nearly $2 million in business from Bettendorf between 2004 and 2011. Two company execs have already pleaded guilty. Budd pleaded not guilty, and Webster has yet to make a court appearance. A new nearly $1 trillion farm bill is one step closer to becoming law. It passed easily in the House and now waits for approval in the Senate. Many are glad to have some certainty after 10 years in political limbo. The bill ends direct subsidies to farmers, opting instead for a loss-based insurance program. It also closes a loophole allowing some people to artificially qualify for food assistance, but the bill allows millions of Americans on food stamps to keep their benefits.
We make major reforms.
The Senate could take up the farm bill as early as today. The White House says President Obama will sign it if it reaches his desk. A court hearing is scheduled in the case of a Florida man who allegedly shot and killed another man at a movie theater. Curtis Reeves, a retired Tampa police officer, is accused of shooting two people at a movie theater earlier this month. Today, the court will go over possible evidence and cell phone records. Another hearing is scheduled for next Wednesday.
Is adding international flights to Aruba, the Bahamas, and Jamaica. And who among us wouldn't want to go to any of those destinations right now?
Ooh, I want to take you.
Oh,
Sing
no.
the song.
Keep
I
it going.
can't help myself.
Greg, you know Morgan's Canadian.
Yeah, I do.
I know Morgan's Canadian.
Yeah,
That's why I
Okay.
went with the over-the-top Canadian
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
It's about time.
Nailed it.
A feline in Phoenix would definitely be on that show.
Yeah, this is Meatball. A meatball.
Wow.
He weighs in at 36
It's my first time seeing this. I'm a little shocked by
Woo!
this.
He's a big, big man.
We need something for scale next to him, like a banana
All right,
or something.
this cat is 36 pounds. That's actually 24 pounds heavier than the average weight.
That is amazing. Meatball will need some medical help to lose the weight.
You think?
And in case you're wondering, Meatball can't help it now.
That's actually a king-size sheet that he's laying on there. It's not a blanket.
It's just a bearskin rug.
Wow. How do you think Meatball feels about that?
so-
Come on.
why are we being so mean to this
Why would
cat?
you be doing that to Meatball? Meatball is actually 10 pounds short, 10 pounds shy of the Guinness World Record for
What?
big cats. And we should also say we're having fun with this, but obesity with animals is a very serious
Yes.
problem, and it's just as bad for them in the big picture as it is for us. So we hope that Meatball loses some weight, because they need to.
Morgan's not going to be able to read her next story, I don't think.
You have to read it.
Well, speaking of eating, speaking of making waves, our own Greg Dutra has passed the 15,000 Facebook likes mark.
Round of applause, Greg.
Congratulations, Greg.
I don't get why we're saying congratulations to me. I think it's more like a viewer thing. They actually went to my page and clicked the like
Which
button.
is
like,
good. I mean, you have good information to give.
Well, thank you.
I have exponentially less Facebook likes than you do, which I find
We
very
all do.
hilarious. We all do.
We all have.
You're
we
very
were
fancy.
actually talking about it earlier. It's kind of funny because my hometown had 1,800 people, so it's almost 10 times the amount of my hometown.
So we know you're not just, telling people from your hometown to like your page.
Right, yeah, well,
There's
they
no
had-
way. 6:41 on your Friday morning, a beautiful shot.
That's pretty.
Yeah, of the Centennial Bridge, all of the lights you can see there. It really is a beautiful shot this morning. You really can't tell how miserable probably a lot of those people.
Just colder than the devil is all.
Sorry, but it's the truth. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Quad Cities Today.
Thanks for watching. Today's show starts right now.